Oh my god, there's a goddamn windstorm now. This might be a disaster. I think Chillier is dead, so it's up to me to intro. Good morning, everybody. It's not morning, but anyway, welcome to the FreeWC Qualifier Results Showcase. I'm Fiery Rage, going to be joined by Chillier Bear, and we're going to be discussing who made the cut for the next stage.
The time has come. The teams have played their qualifiers, and now the top 16 have been decided. That is out of 30 teams total that played in qualifiers. So the bottom 14 will unfortunately have not made it in this year. We'll be saying goodbye to some of those, and then we will be introducing our top 16 to the bracket stage. We're going to move from the bottom seed all the way to the top seed today. So we'll be starting with the lowest, and then you'll see the number 1 seed last, like you do. Are we starting with all the way at 30 here today? Is that the plan?
I'm pretty sure that's the plan. We have to probably go through it relatively fast, though, if we want to get to the...
All right. Sounds good.
If you want to get to the actual seeds that made it into the tournament, so we can discuss about those.
Exactly. All right. Starting from number 30, we're going to run through these first 14 pretty quickly, just because they are not bracket stage teams. Starting at the bottom, seed number 30 for qualifiers, 3-digit World Cup 2024.
You are trying to summon the results so bad right now.
Wait for it. There they are, the Netherlands. They did not qualify this year. They were seed 22 last year, so unfortunately this is their second year in a row not qualifying for the tournament. They fell a little bit this year. Tragic with a 3-player roster.
And not much else to say in regards to that. Very well played, nonetheless. But it's going to be moving on now to the 29th seed. It's going to be Turkey. Some solid hit, relatively solid hit and one score compared to the rest of the scores that you see on there, but nonetheless, not going to be enough to qualify. It is their first time in FreeWC, though, so good on them for managing to pull a roster here and doing about as well as they could do, all things considered.
Yeah, rocking it. They're missing a couple of the good Turkish players, usually, just from the 3-digit range here, so they've got years to build. Turkey, number 29. Next up will be team number 28 on the seeding list. This will be Team Portugal. This is the first team that we've actually seen with a full roster.
Wait, what is that DT1 score?
That's actually, wow.
Wait, that's crazy.
TT team.
A solid Hard Rock 1 and DT1 score is kind of a bit of an underperformance, I guess you could say, on Nomad 1, but Rest of the map pool is where it seems like they struggled the most, especially that hidden mod, not really having the best of scores there. So even with those very strong scores, it's not going to be enough to qualify, placing at seed at 28.
So sad.
Apparently they were missing 2 crucial players, so that would definitely impact things, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Maki Donalds and Seat Ibiza TDI both not playing in qualifiers. That is a rough 2 to be missing for this team. I imagine they would have been a little higher up. Not sure if they would have qualified. Qualifiers were pretty strict this year with that top 16, but nonetheless, well done, Portugal. Bottom 3 here to this year. Number 27 is up next. This is a team we've seen before. Some people looking forward to seeing some of these players. Unfortunately, they'll not be making it in this year. It is going to be Team Thailand. There they are. They are our 27th seed this year. A good roster of players that we've seen show up a lot. Lesperry, big performer, number 42 overall for performances. Chaifuk not showing up to qualifiers for the playable maps here, and a good HD1 score.
Kind of surprising, all things considered. Thailand has usually been one of the standout countries, especially in that 3-digit range. You already mentioned Lesperry Kadama, obviously the standout 2 players, been on the Thai OWC team, as well as Master, I believe, for that record, but it's not going to be enough. Very solid hidden 1 score, even with Mithy Chang dropping below 200k. Still number 12 overall on that. Very solid performances from Lesperry and Kadama on that, but it's not going to be enough, and they are going to be going out seed 27.
For Thailand this year, number 26 is a team that some people might be a little bit surprised about. Some people might have thought they would be a little bit higher, or maybe even qualifying. It is going to be Team Japan up next. Full team. They missed a lot of big players this year, but they still had a lot of heavy hitters, so very sad to see them down this far. They did not qualify last year either, seed 19.
That is interesting. Relatively strong performances from the players you'd expect. Konkon Kinikon, obviously, pretty relatively, I'd say, recent up-and-coming Japan well-rounder, kind of taking over the Varvalian role in some aspects, not entirely, but Yama Darkness and Cena as well. A Blue, some might know Yama Darkness otherwise. These are just, I guess, having a rough time on the pool. Overall, not really having that much of a fun time getting a lot of these scores for the most part.
Yeah, looking kind of middle of the range here for most of these maps. Unfortunately, didn't have enough standout performances to drag them up. So Japan is going to be part of that bottom 5 this year. Last of the bottom 6 will be number 25 up next, just barely above Japan. 27.52 rating overall versus 27.61 will be Team Spain. This is another 4-person team doing a little bit better than some of the full rosters here. Antonio, number 32 overall in qualifiers for player performances.
And team performance as well, number 11 on Nomad 4. That is quite impressive, actually. Very solid performances from them. Just unfortunately not really able to gather all the scores that they needed for the other maps.
Good stuff from Spain. Unfortunately, not quite enough. And again, another team that just barely missed qualifiers last year. So no harm, no foul here. Maybe next year will be their chance. Number 24 is up next. A team that we've seen be pretty heavy hitters in the past, have taken a bit of a back seat as of recent, missing a heck of a lot of their top level performers. It is going to be Team United Kingdom. Lots of name brand players missing from this list, but a lot of good performers. I think they just needed to find maybe 1 or 2 more.
In particular, the hidden mod. You can see the struggles there, plentiful there. Not really having a full roster for that hidden mod is gonna kill you in the qualifier standings, and even with pretty solid performances on Nomad 3, DT1, just you kind of need that well-rounded roster overall if you want to qualify when it's top 16.
Yeah, this is definitely, they're missing the Kinglings and the Maltesers and all the other people I think that you've kind of seen in the past that are a big part of their OWC roster as well. They've got a couple of those players showing up here, but definitely needed a little bit more. Shout out to Hunt, top 18 there for player performances, so another good shot there, maybe for next year. Next up.
And next up, seed number 23 in the first top 10 placement, but not going to be qualifying with top 10 on one of the maps. It is the Baltic region. Top 10 on Hidden 1 and Hard Rock 2. Unfortunately, not going to be enough to qualify this year. Very, very solid overall performances on Nomad 1, Hidden 1, Hard Rock 2. Double times as well, not too bad there. Just unfortunately, those remaining Nomads on the low AR Hidden not really doing the best for the Baltics.
Yeah,
or not the low AR Hidden, but...
Yeah, I get what you. Yeah, the semi-low.
I keep forgetting.
The flipped. Yeah. Low 20s unfortunately hurt pretty bad for overall team placements in a top 16 only qualifier. So definitely a rough start for them. But this is their first year as a combined region. This is players from a couple different countries in here for the Baltic region. So
Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, all that.
Yeah. So they got a chance to clean some stuff up here. They got some good players. Some maybe that could just polish it up, and then maybe the Baltic region will make a resurgence. Who knows? But right above them, it's going to be seed number 22. It's going to be Team Mexico. This is a 6-player team. Riot, top performer, number 25 overall. Played every single map along with Wolfie here. Not too many standout performances. Good DT team, though.
Unfortunately, this is a case of, I think, Riot no help. He's trying his best. F-seed both of the double times, as you kind of expect from him. He's one of those standout double time players from the Mexican region. But yeah, just unfortunately, overall team score not really enough. Fairly solid on Hidden, especially on double time, but Nomad and Hard Rock, somewhat underwhelming performances there is going to leave them at the 22nd seed.
Yeah, unfortunately, those mods outside of, DT and mechanics are really going to make a big difference this year because every team is so mechanically strong. Like, Mexico here, 821k, 1.2-ish mil basically from Riot here, and another 900k on DT1, and that only earns them number 13 overall. So there's a lot of good mechanics teams to go up against. They need other stuff. That's important, but they are going to be taking a leave. This is another team I think that has not played in quite a while, if at all, in 3-digit World Cup. So good to see him showing up this year at least. Next up, going to be number 21 on the seeding. Decent jump up from Mexico from 34-point rating to a 38-point rating is going to be 21 Team Norway up next. Melver, the standout performer here, and no Fiel in qualifiers. That might have had something to do.
Yeah, no Fiel is gonna. It's gonna help with DT, which I mean they still place relatively good in DT. Number 7, DT1, almost a 3-way on that. Number 16 on DT2, and pretty solid scores on the Hard Rocks overall. But missing one of those key players is definitely going to be impactful when it comes to qualifying for top 16. And unfortunately, the Hidden mod again is wreaking havoc, and just not enough players for that.
Not quite. That number 7 on DT1 is actually pretty big for Norway there. They've got a couple players that are unable to participate, I think, from Norway in this tournament as well. I guess namely someone like Yokespie not able to, come out for the team here. So that is an unfortunate.
He needs to rank up.
Yeah, he does. He really needs to. The BWS.
Stop de-ranking.
Yokespie, your team needs you, but unfortunate for Norway. They did better than last year, though, actually. Big shout-outs there. 23 up to 21. So the first team we've actually seen so far improve their seeding, which is cool. Love that.
Moving on. Kind of a surprising one on this one. I guess somewhat expected if it's not the roster I'm thinking of. Seed
it's
number
not. You'll see.
Okay, that would explain a lot then. Seed number 20 is China. That would be why.
Yeah.
All right, I understand entirely now.
Yeah. Oh, this was tragic. We talked about this in the prediction stream and how much of the roster they were missing this year. Kurumi, Milk Tea, everyone else that you would think of. Crystal, with their like super top end performers, and there's just left David by himself, who number 15 overall in qualifiers, actually top 100 overall qualifiers for all three players on China here, setting some decent stuff across the board. But yeah, half a roster.
Hard Rock score in particular is what tanked them the most. I think if they got some decent Hard Rock scores on that, like maybe around number 15 or so, they probably would have qualified. I think number 8, Nomad 3, and solid scores on Hidden and Double Time would have been enough to carry them over. But unfortunately, 3-man roster. What can you do?
What can you do? Seed 7 last year, but again, that's kind of hard to match up to this year, given how many people they are missing. But just barely above Norway on the pointage here, about one or 2 points above them in overall rating. The 19th seed team is so close to the rating of China here, actually, only a couple hundredths, or a couple tenths rather, of a point off for the 19th seed above China. Going to be Team Argentina this year. Old roster, a couple double-digit performers. Rebo with the big standout performance for them this year. They are also a team that has improved their seed.
Yeah, decent performance overall from pretty much everyone on this team. DT in particular, their strong point, number 6 on DT1, almost getting above top 10 on DT2 as well, but pretty average middle of the road scores for the rest of the maps, except maybe Hard Rock 2. So outside of that, it's not really going to be enough, unfortunately, for Argentina to qualify this year.
So sad. We've got a lot of good players too, a lot of potential, a lot of tournament experience, but not enough competitive tournament this year, evidently.
Just to speak about how competitive it is, this next one has 2 top 3 placements, and they did not qualify. Just so you can let that sink in. It is none other than Austria at seed number 18, number 3 on both the double times. Triple FC, I believe, on DT1, almost triple FC on DT2, and it's not enough, unfortunately.
Oh, this is so sad to see, actually. Great DT scores. I mean, those are exceptional right there. Getting top 3. I mean, we saw how strong, like, Mexico's DT scores were, and they didn't even place top 10, so, you know, to get top 3 on these DTs with that competitiveness is crazy for Austria, and I'm very sad to see that that wasn't enough to propel them into the top 16.
Yeah, unfortunately, rest of the scores outside of that double time is pretty middle of the road. Also, some pretty scores. Nomad 1, Hidden 1 probably could have been better. Probably just got some unlucky runs there, but that
tragic.
DT performance is exceptional, and I do not want to downplay that whatsoever, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Love it from Austria. Another team that not having a placement last year, going to 18th is quite a feat, but all good things must come to an end. And with this next team, we are coming to the end of our non-qualifying teams. That's right. If you are in chat or watching right now and your team is not Team 17, then congratulations, your team has qualified for 3-digit World Cup. But unfortunately, our final team that will not be making it to bracket stage in 3-digit World Cup 2024 will be
the entire region of Oceania.
It will be the amalgamation of Oceania, the Australia-New Zealand combination. Just barely missing, by the way. I want to make a quick note of this. Team points for Oceania for qualifiers was a 44.27. Number 16 was a 44.93. So that is a seriously close range, but great scores in a couple of mods here. Nomad 3, HR1, good stuff.
Yeah, not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Generic aim, more or less, is what kind of did them in, as well as Nomad 2. Overall, though, pretty solid performances. And looking forward to see Oceania come back even stronger next year, as they did manage to get seed 13 last year. I think they can definitely get maybe above top 10 for the next one.
I think they certainly can. Oceania, unfortunately, no appearance for them in 3-digit World Cup, sorry, for this year. But that'll bring us to the start of the top 16. That's right. These are your 16 bracket stage teams. Starting at the bottom of the list, this will be the team that'll be facing off against our number 1 seeded team that we will be seeing last. Congratulations to the first of our qualifying teams. It is going to be Team Italy. That's right. The 4-player roster making it through with a massive performance.
Kirochi, the carry of all time. 4-man roster. I believe the only 4-man roster right now is in the tournament now with this. There's not really much you can say. Kirochi just went off on this pool. And solid supporting scores as well from ours as well. But it's all about just that score in general. Hard Rock scores very solid as well from them. Number 8 and number 6 respectively. Pretty much top 10 on all except the reading maps and hidden and the speed. But other than that, very, very solid performance and just barely nudging out Oceania to take the number 16 seed.
I think Kirochi's performance is even better when, you know, I will share a story in the Hippo Cup VC before our match this morning. Kirochi was telling me that she almost overslept this qualifier, which would have been absolutely disastrous for this team given that performance there. So shout outs Kirochi for making it to qualifiers. You definitely propelled your team into this slot here. So well done to the, you know, Kirochi and the rest of the roster here. 3 top 100 performers on here as well. Aaron Sino actually getting number 99 overall. So good stuff.
Progressing on to the next seed now. Number 14 and number 15, fun fact, have the overall same point score, which is quite comedic. It's literally within the hundredths between them deciding the placement of these next 2 teams. So we get into seed number 15, which is going to be Chile.
Look at that. Well done. Team Chile, another last year not placement. I'm not sure. I don't actually remember if they did not. Yeah, so they did not play last year either. But some amazing performances, especially from Suntan in here. Almost every single map with a score on the board. And number 14 overall, Gonza coming up pretty close second. Number 28 overall. But this is just the first instance I think we've seen of a team where their qualifiers results are largely as a result of them doing well across the board. You know, no super standout terrible placements. Nothing absolutely crazy amazing, but they're just good across the board.
Hard Rock 2 and DT1 are pretty much the only ones that you can point out and say they kind of underperformed on, if you're going to point out anything, or that their weakness is those skill sets in particular. But other than that, this is a very solid showing overall from Chile. Very consistent across the board, and they will definitely be a threat to whoever faces them early on.
Well done. Team Chile, number 15, barely squeaking in here. These bottom teams. As Fiery mentioned, the team right above Chile in number 14th spot with that tiebreaker into 14th here. Same points, 47.28, is going to be Team France in 2024. And a top performer is Musty. Take a look at that.
Musty still holding on in the year 2024. God bless.
Oh, wow.
Very solid team score on Hard Rock 1. 1 FC, almost 3 FCs, just unfortunate misses at the end from Hifkill and Iraqi. But for the most part, basically the French OWC team. Most of their players are here and present and accounted for. So not too surprising to see them qualify once again this year.
Oh, wow. So, for those of you that actually want to know, the overall ratings between these 2 teams as decimals, thank you, Shadus, is for France a 47.2840, and for Chile a 47.2796. So, really close between these 2 teams here. That is such a small margin of difference. But well done to France. Just barely inching that out. That Hard Rock 1 performance, stellar from the French team here. Ryzen, Iraqi, and Hifkill really coming in clutch with that performance. Another top 3. This is the first top 3 performance I think we've seen on a map placement from a team that has qualified with Team France here. And actually, it looks like we're not going to be seeing another one for a little bit.
We are not going to be seeing another one for quite a bit, but we will be seeing plenty of top 10s nonetheless, so getting right on with it. Next one up, seed number 13. Welcome, Indonesia. Another four-man team. Hello, Dito.
Yeah, Tito going in. Nazuna Amamiya, also number 33 overall. Skydiver, the old Indonesian GOAT, having a little bit of trouble in qualifiers here. Maybe getting back into the swing of things.
He was forced to play DT too.
He was forced to play DT too.
Unlucky situation.
Good scores from a lot of these players, and it's reflected in their team scores. A little rough on the DT1, but I think as we've seen, I think, these DTs have been really competitive. You need a very good team score to have a high placement on those.
Yeah, like number 28 on DT1 is 2.4 million out of 30 teams. That's kind of ridiculous.
Right? Like, this is a 3v3 tournament, too, so, you're looking for a maximum team score of 3.6 million overall on this. So that is just a fraction off of each player sometimes. But Indonesia making it in. Unfortunately, dropping quite a bit from that seed 4 from last year. They had a lot of roster switches and a lot of differences here, making them not quite up to what they were, in previous years, but they could outperform their seed, potentially. We'll see what some of these players have to bring to the table. I think, conveniently, the 12th seeded team immediately above Indonesia is the inverse of the flags. That's right. If you know what that means, we got the funny this year. Number 12 seed in 2024 will be none other than Poland. The inverse Indonesia flag. That's right. They made it through. Bartek, top performer, number 12 overall.
Pretty good performances across the board. Bartek, obviously a standout one. FC's on most of the reading maps, hidden maps, and DTs as well. Very solid performances from just the team in general on those maps. Somewhat struggling on the Nomad 1, Nomad 3, but outside of, and the Hard Rocks, but outside of that, very solid team scores from these guys.
Yeah, this is a good overall for this team. Honestly, again, another instance, I think, of just doing really well across the board. Actually, this is the first time we've seen a team with no placements outside of the top 20 overall. So Poland really just kind of rocking it as a team in this qualifier. Strong DT as well. 3.2 million bringing up on that DT1. And about 2.5 million on that DT2 there. So number 9 and number 8 top 10 there. Hidden 2, good as well. So very strong mechanics team.
Yeah, these guys are really scary on speed and reading in particular. I think they're going to be a team to watch out for. They can definitely upset quite a number of the teams that are remaining. Moving on, though. It's going to be seed number 11. Canada. United States hat.
United States. Okay.
Getting the same seed as last time. Seed number 11. If that doesn't say consistency, I don't know what will.
Well done. Team Canada, the first team of North America to make it into 3-digit World Cup 2024. Big performance this year out of Pikapone. Look at that. Top performer, number 27. Also, massive shout-outs Team Canada, the first team we've seen so far to have every single one of their 6 players brought into the top 100 performers for the overall qualifying performance. Almost everyone actually over a 1.0 rating as well, as a matter of fact. This team is just good. I don't really know how else to describe Canada. They're well-rounded. They're a cohesive group. I think this seed 11 is perfect for them. I think, there's a reason they've placed here twice.
Just unlucky runs on Nomad 2 and DT1 pretty much is all that held them back for the most part. Nomad 1, I mean, it's Nomad 1. What can you really expect from that? Can't hit them all the time. Overall, very solid, consistent team score across the board for all these. Going to be very scary whoever has to face them in the early stage.
Very scary. That's, what team is that going to be? That's going to be 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
okay.
Oh no!
Good luck, Canada. We'll talk about that in a bit. Number 10th seed. I've seen a little buzz in chat about a team that people thought that they would have seen by now, but they haven't. That's right. Number 10.
Number 4 overall performer. Number 4.
This is going to be crazy to see. Number 10, Team Sweden in the top. Scylla, what the heck are you doing?
Dude just went on a tear, played every single map outside of the generic aim, and just went on a complete tear. Pinks as well, number 39 overall, helping solidify that.
I just can't. That is so many high scores from Silas. Binks, yeah, good job as well. Unfortunately, the hidden one, he was forced to play reading, but good on everything else. I mean, number 6, Nomad 1, number 4, Nomad 3, number 7 and 5, Hard Rock 1 and 2. That is a lot of single-digit placements for this team.
It's literally just that hidden reading combo that's tripped up Sweden and got them quite a low seed. Everything else is just beyond solid for the most part. Somewhat of an underperformance, I guess you could say, on speed as well, but not really by much. I mean, 2.8 million on DT1, that's still very good. Just that reading is going to be one of their key weaknesses, I think. You're going to have to look out for in the future.
Yeah, that is just a crazy performance from Scylla. I'm so stunned at that. And you know what? If the rest of the rally, the roster is able to rally around Scylla's performance for this tournament, they're absolutely going to be able to smash their placement from last year. Also, another team that improved 14th to 10th this year. Well done, the Team Sweden.
Well, keeping with the Scandinavian region, we got the next one up, which kind of gave it away. I kind of just gave it away by saying that, but hello. Finland is your next one at seed number 9. Very solid performances across the board here. Amasetic, Desku, standout performers. Nothing really to say. Hard Rock 1, kind of underwhelming, but everything else fairly solid.
Very solid, actually. We talked earlier about Team Canada almost having every single player over a 1.0 cost and top 100 performers. Finland came even closer with only a singular player at a 0.96 below a 1.0 overall, and they've got some serious maps in here. That Nomad 2 score as a team is very, very good compared to the rest of the field here. Little bit of a rough time in the Hard Rock. That's definitely where they are going to have some struggles this year, but it looks like they are quite good everywhere else, especially that hidden pool.
That's definitely a team to watch out for. Finland, in general, has always been kind of like underrated, I'd say, in most World Cups.
And they were missing a player too. I mean, Mike Tyson not playing any maps here, so they potentially have some extra, performance on the board here as well, if Mike Tyson's able to make a comeback in the bracket stage. This is great for Finland too, especially missing a player like Freezed off of this roster too. I mean, that's a big performer not here, and they still did extremely well. Well done, Team Finland. Next up, big milestone here. We're through the bottom 8. Which means that every other team here is the top 8. Conveniently, the next team will be the team that is facing off against Finland in the first round of the bracket stage. Some of you might be big fans of this. I saw a lot of people rooting for them in the prediction stream. That's right, number 8 in seeding is Team Ukraine. They've made it to the top 8.
GPO and Dench, my idols.
Look at that performance from Dench, as well as Poma and Raf GPO. Look at the almost top 20 for all 3 of them.
Crazy hidden 2 score as well. Number 3 on that. Number 2 on DT2. Almost a 3-way. Just in general, very solid performances on pretty much everything.
Top 2 on DT2 as well. Even making that push up past top 3. We talked about it. We weren't going to see a lot of teams with a top 3 score for a little while after we talked about it earlier. Well, this is the next team, and they put up 2 of them. Number 3 hidden 2, number 2 DT2. Team Ukraine really with a good performance this year. I do think that they are going to also smash their placement from last year. Their seed 16th, 9th to 12th overall. I think they could probably win their first 2 matches even. But a tough first round matchup versus Team Finland. I think as we go down the line, you're going to start to be able to visualize those matchups. But a good placement. Well done. Team Ukraine, bottom of the top 8, but top of the top half of the teams here today. It is now, oh, that's right. I got my bi-yearly reminder. That's not how you pronounce their name. It's Roma.
Yeah, it's Roma.
Yeah, all right. I have corrected myself now. Instantly.
You just need to remember for the rest of the tournament. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to write it on my monitor or something. Team number 7 is next up. This will be the team facing off against Team Sweden. in the first round of the bracket stage. Right above Team Ukraine will be Team Russia, making it in here with a number 7 performance from Deske and number 6 from Scrowl. Wow.
I mean, Skrull, I think everyone kind of expected to do pretty well. He's been a relatively known tournament player across the board for numerous different years at this point. Deske, though, very solid showing from him. And just in general, across the board, once again, very consistent roster here. There's not really any bad score to consider here. Number 4, Hidden 2, Hard Rock 2, single digits on Nomad 2, Nomad 4, and Hidden 1. Overall, very consistent. Not really anything you can point to that is really a weakness outside of maybe DT2. Maybe a third man syndrome on that one, but other than that, these are very good scores.
Extremely good. I mean, having 2 players in the top 8 performers overall in the same team is very, very scary. And Russia with a lot of low single-digit placements on these maps here. So you know that they've got a lot to show across the board here. And well done to them. Once again, they are going to be facing off first round against Team Sweden. Next up is the one that we were, unfortunately, when we said, hey, Team Canada, look out in the first round of the tournament.
Canada, I am so sorry that you have to face off against the Philippines.
That's right.
I am so sorry. I am so... What is this performance from Hyok? What is that?
Number 2 overall, Hyok the hero. That is wild. Nathan Ram and Ramu didn't do half bad. 35th and 55th overall. But when you've got the number 2 performer overall, that's insane. Look how many FCs there are. Look how many. I mean, that is 6 FCs on this pool out of 10 maps. That's a 60% FC rate. And HR2 might as well be, honestly. 800k? I mean, come on.
The only bad scores were that Hard Rock 2 and the double times. That's it. Everything else is top 10, even top 5 for most of these. This is a very scary team to face, and unfortunately, Canada is going to be doing that in the first round. So good luck to Canada. They're going to need it. Not really much else to say. Very consistent roster. I think most people generally know the Philippines have a pretty consistent roster, especially after that OWC run last year.
Yeah, they're going to be good this year. Even missing a couple of, like, the really, really good Philippines players, they are still quite a strong roster. So there's a reason they were a force in the World Cup, and 3WC certainly seems no different this year. Team number 5 is up next. Not quite the team that everyone's cheering for, though.
Yeah, it's going to be the number 3 overall performer in the qualifiers and going to be facing off against Poland in the round of 16. Congratulations to Germany and Kriller.
What a team performance. Unironically, Kriller, stellar as usual. I think we've come to expect a certain level of performance from Kriller, and he certainly delivers every single time over and over again. But great support from some of his teammates this year. Pear, Fle, Sharg, even RS Government coming up top 100 performers there, and top 50 on Pear here with a quite good Hidden 1 score and a Nomad 1 score. Number 2 overall, Nomad 1. Number 3 overall, Nomad 4. And number 2 overall, DT1. So that's 3 top 3 placements.
Number 2 overall on DT1 is Hyak 3-Way FC.
Yeah,
that is very funny.
Oh, that is... There's a lot. Just DT1 so competitive this year. There's really nothing you could do on that map unless you 3-Way FC'd or almost SS'd, which... We'll see a team score a little bit later and why they are the number 1 DT1 score. But Germany versus Poland, round 1. That's going to be a close matchup, I think. Despite the seed difference here, I think that is going to be quite the pairing. Speaking of quite the pairing, another
the one
team...
everyone's been rooting for.
Exactly.
We can just get that out of the way.
We're finally there. Y'all have been cheering for it. That's right. Number 4 in qualifiers is Team Brazil. They made it.
Just struggling on the hidden, but overall, once again, another just generally consistent team. Not much to say. Very solid performances on Hard Rock double time. No mod as well. Just a solid team in general. Not really much else to say.
Yeah, great stuff from Team Brazil this year. I think some people had a lot of questions about how Brazil was going to look this year with their roster, and, you know, some people maybe not being quite in form as much as they had been, or maybe not. Well, they have dispelled all of those uncertainties. Multiple top-level performers here. Zubs, Koreon, Defons, they're almost all top 30. 1.36, 1.37, and 1.42. Very well done to those three, and some great support from Nissan and Nyash. Mistia coming up a little bit short in qualifiers, but surely in bracket stage going to be much more help for them, as they are also a known top performer.
To be fair, he only did play one map, so what can you do, really?
True, yeah, and a good, decent score, too. 524k on that hidden one. I mean, that's the second best on their team. So good stuff. Next up, top 3. Here's the beginning. I apologize to 14th, 15th, and 16th seed because you have to face off against these terrifying teams up here. There are only 3 teams left.
And I think everyone kind of knows what the order is probably going to be. So let's just get it kicked out. Let's just get it over with. Number 3 is going to be Hong Kong, the return of Suwagi.
Number 5. Big performance from Suwagi this year. Hong Kong, a repeat of their seed from last year, and they outplaced their seed. Given the top 2 performing teams this year, I don't know how feasible that is, given looking at those top 2, but it's definitely possible again. But this is a strong team. This team is in 3rd seed for so many reasons more than their top performers, and you can see it very much reflected in their team scores overall here. The only blunder being that DT1, and even then a 2.6 million team score on that DT1 is quite good.
2.6 million gets you number 23.
Enjoy.
What is that?
So, shout-outs to Team France, who will be Hong Kong's opponent in round 1. You've got your work cut out for you, but Team Hong Kong, you know, France looked really good on a lot of maps, too, in here, so that might be a bit of a toss-up on an earlier stage pool, especially with the first round being relatively close to that qualifier star rating. But I think we've made it. The culmination is finally here. The top 2 teams, everyone now knows who these teams are. The question is, what's the order? What happened here?
And how many number 1s did each of these teams get? Because I think that's honestly the more surprising thing. And we'll just get it out of the way right now. Number 2, kind of mimicking the World Cup last year, United States is going to be seed number 2. Bashiman, the only one above top 10, followed up by Decaton there. Generally speaking, again, solid performance outside of that No Mod 4. Number 1s on DT2 and No Mod 3.
Bashiman, my GOAT. Number 9 overall. Number 10 for Decaton. Very, very close behind Bashi there, with some good performances as well. That Hard Rock 1 FC, that DT1 FC. United States, number 4 overall on DT1, but number 1 on that DT2, pulling up a number 1 on No Mod 3 as well. 2 number 1 scores and 2 number 2s here. Good performance across the board here. There's a reason this team is in number 2. I mean, you have basically every player here in the top 50 for performance overall. Kama and Tallulah barely coming up short, even then still above 1.06 for their bottom rating here. Captain Taquito at number 22 as well, and Razorfruit, also another newcomer alongside Tallulah. Both of them really showing that the new additions here are going to be able to pull their weight more than enough.
A bit of a seed shift, going from seed 1 to seed 2 now this year. And speaking of which, going from, I believe, seed 2 now to seed 1 this year is, let's just get it out of the way. It's South Korea form is, go to the next slide.
And South Korea.
Let's go to the next slide. Yeah,
there
form exists. This entire team exists, honestly. Let's just get that out of the way.
This team is something special. I don't actually know what to make of these overall placements for this team this year. I want to let you all know, while the United States did do well in the 2nd seed and Hong Kong did well in the 3rd seed, the gap in points between number 1 seed, obviously at 100 if we're starting at 100% for maximum score, fell to the United States was 82. That's right. That's how dominant South Korea was this year. Number 1, number 1, number 2, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1. Can I keep going? Because this is insane.
And the only reason they really got a bad score was because Form was forced to play speed on DT2. That's literally
That's an
and
SS
even
on HR1, by the way.
Oh yeah,
think.
just your normal stuff. I do that.
Pretty sure.
Oh, the Nomad 4 is also an SS choke,
Oh
so
no,
you know.
it's a 1/100 tragic.
You know, just casual things that you do on a daily basis.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, worst HR player is just simply a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. Massive shoutouts to Amamiya Kokoro as well. Number 8 overall. That is a serious second performer for South Korea here. Fragrance of Page, number 11 here. Someone that we've been seeing pop up a lot more often lately and certainly has something to prove. Allegrissimo, no surprise there. The 4th top performer, number 34. Doomsday Fanboy and Jung Woo Young, 52 and 66 respectively. Almost another entire team above that 1.0 rating. Jung Woo Young barely behind 0.98 there. But this is a team, you know, they got 2nd seed last year and they placed 1st. So what the heck is going to happen when they place 1st seed? Well, that's going to leave it to the bracket stage to find out, but they're going to be facing off against the team Italy in the 1st round. So Italy, best of luck to you.
God bless.
Yeah, that might not even be strong enough, honestly. You might need a little more against South Korea here. Because this is crazy. But those are your top 16 teams. As a quick recap for you all, from 16th to 1st, you've got Team Italy, Team Chile, France, Indonesia, Poland, Canada, Sweden, Finland. Top 8, Ukraine, Russia, Philippines, Germany, Brazil, and your top 3, Hong Kong, United States, and South Korea. Your 16 competing teams in the bracket stage for 3-Digit World Cup 2024. They will be duking it out in the round of 16. That map pool going to be released immediately following this qualifiers results showcase. I believe we're going to take a small pause, keep the stream up, get everything set up, and come back to you with that. Fiery, if you have anything closing about these qualifiers results, we'd love to hear it.
We pretty much said everything that I already wanted to say. I'm just looking at these scores and
I'm terrified.
I've never seen this many number 1s outside of, I think, the USA 2019 OWC team. I've legit never seen this many number 1s before.
Yeah, it should be noted, right? I mean, worst HR player has number 1 on 5 of the 10 maps in qualifiers.
As you do.
Yeah. That's crazy. The second closest to worst HR player for total number 1s was Boshi Man, and that drops to 2. So big performance from them. But well done to everyone. Shoutouts to our top 16. Thank you to everyone who came out for qualifiers this year. We wish the best of luck next year to our 14 teams that did not end up qualifying. And all the best to our top 16 teams. Again, don't forget to stick around for the round of 16 showcase following this stream in just a few minutes. Also, don't forget to fill out your pick'ems. I believe will exist for the top 16 teams for that. So don't miss anything. We've got that all coming up, and the final qualifiers results will be posted for you in just a few minutes. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll see you then.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoy the black screen. Welcome back to the round of 16 showcase for 3WC. Same commentators. I'm Fiery, joined up by Chillier. We'll just get right into it. I think you guys have been waiting long enough for this. We'll get immediately into the pool and see who's going to be playing what.
It's time. Hello, team.
He thinks he's on the team.
Blood thinks he's on the team. Where are we starting here? What's going on with the first map in this pool? It's Nomad 1. We've got, I don't know if I should just announce. All right, yeah, there it is. Dance, Gavin, dance. It's time for some spooks mapped by a custom. This is a custom map for the tournament. So
yeah, the only custom map. We need to stop talking over each other.
Yeah, we've got this. It's okay. Let's keep going.
Yeah, the only custom for this stage, going to be immediately out of the gate, Nomad 1. Brought to you by Polish Rafis. I think he's already Polish, but thank you nonetheless. That was a horrible voice crack. My God, I apologize for that.
It had to happen. Good. Game style, Nomad 1. Pretty conventional-ish. We've got a couple of rhythm changes here on the Nomad 1, but the main focus, I think, still being that aim overall. It's just not, standard jump Nomad 1. Decently high BPM here just with the timing points, but this map is base 185-ish, so nothing too crazy. I think most players should be able to be, relatively comfortable on this Nomad 1. Good song, too. Dance, Gavin, dance.
Not much else to say. It's your standard. It's your standard aim map. Unfortunately, you can't really say that much about it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, I guess, originality in here too. You got some of those bursts, some sliders here.
Oh my God! What is that stream?
All right, well, never mind. Not an aim map. This is a stream map now.
What the hell? I can't play this.
I guess this maybe falls more into like the old style of Nomad 1, where it's kind of like consistency over aim style Nomad 1, where there's streams and jumps in here. Although these streams are quite difficult to be consistent on here.
These streams, man. They probably play a lot better than they look. Granted, but that is crazy.
Do not sight read Nomad 1 this week.
Don't sight read the pool like I am doing, because I have not prepared for this.
Trust us when we say, do not sight read this pool, please. Especially with some of the matchups that exist this weekend, you do not want to be running into these matches on sight reads. Maybe some of you want your opponents to be running them on sight reads, but we'll see. We'll jump that hurdle when it comes to it. Decently long map here as well. Almost 4 minutes of drain time here. 3 minutes and 57 seconds total on this one, but very good custom for this style of pool here. Fits the difficulty very well. This pool is base 7 stars for round of 16, so bringing it down just a little bit from qualifiers in terms of overall difficulty. I'd say it's pretty close, honestly, but I definitely think some of these maps are a little bit easier than the slotting that we had in qualifiers.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see the scores for this week.
It'll be similar more than anything in my mind. I'm taking a look at a couple of these maps on the sheet right now, and there are some I think that kind of match up pretty well to what we saw in qualifiers, and some that look, I don't know if they look maybe easier, but I think they've been seen before. I think so. Maybe people just
Why is this just a stream map?
I love it. I love it so much.
It's just a stream map now.
I have. This is fantastic map. Actually, this looks like it would make like a really cool like hard rock pick if you hate everything.
What are some of these distance changes are not right.
I like it.
What are these cut streams?
A very cool score from Polish Rafis for the replay. Yeah, for those of you wondering, Nick just said it in chat, but this tournament is not slot pooled in the slightest, by the way. So Nomad 1 is not Nomad 1, Nomad 2 is not Nomad 2, etc. There are some like forms of skill set distribution across this pool, but you will not find consistency in them whatsoever.
Speaking of which, Nomad 2. Hope you guys like speed.
Let's go. Let's go. It's 230 BPM time. That's right. 230 BPM on the Nomad 2 this week. Luckily, for those of you that are maybe not huge fans of 230 BPM, this map is only 1 minute and 54 seconds.
I believe this was a custom mapped for a tournament back in 2011. Or not 2011, 2021. How did I mess that up?
Damn, that's a banger custom.
Wait, this is crazy for 2011. Look at this.
Yeah, this is a custom for Mizelius' tournament, which I believe is a Turkish-only tournament. And I believe Raikoho actually was the one that ended up winning that. Just guessing off the top of my head, I believe I've seen the badge in his profile before, but yes. Tournament custom. Pretty standard 230 BPM speed map, in my opinion. If you're a speed player, you're going to have a really good time on this map. There are 1/3s, yes, but I feel like what modern speed map doesn't have at least a couple of 1/3s in the map at this point. Most of the difficulty is very centric around those triples and slightly longer bursts here.
Once again, very short map as well, so early misses will be mattering quite a bit more on this, but relatively consistent in difficulty throughout, so it's more of a speed consistency test than anything. Not too, I'd imagine, not too difficult for speed players at this stage.
Yeah,
maybe a couple of wacky repeats here and there that might throw them off, but
yeah, I'm expecting some slider breaks on this. Absolutely. But some of these doubles and like 1-2s into the back and forth sliders, those are definitely going to lead to some breaks.
Yeah, otherwise, pretty straightforward speed pick. Not much else to say. Speaking of straightforward picks, Nomad 3 is not as straightforward, and I don't even know why they bothered trying to make it straightforward. Welcome to Nomad 3. Yep, we did it.
There is nothing in this map that is straightforward, including the sliders. If you know what sliders exist in this map, you know that this map has infinite numbers of slider points in order to create this, and some very cool sliders. But this map is, I think, something that has been pooled at least in the past once or twice. There it is.
Funny.
So aim the slider ticks and don't aim anything else. There's our tip to you. Aim 1, 2, end of the slider. Just like Mode did there. Follow his tutorial, and you will be absolutely fine on this map. It's a lot more straightforward than it looks, funny enough, actually. We talk about how not straightforward this map is, because it's not an easy map, but it definitely is more straightforward than it looks. If you are used to this kind of, like, slider, like, awkward techie type slider aim, you're definitely going to have an okay time on this map.
This is one of those fabled maps where hitting slider ends is virtually impossible unless you practice this map heavily, like that one right there.
Yeah, don't mess up that back and forth section, by the way. The first one is cheesable, the second one is not, so don't try and middle both of those. But yeah, a lot of these sliders, you know, they look a lot worse than they are, but most of these are hit the beginning, hit one slider tick, or maybe two in the middle, and then aim towards the ending, and you'll be fine. And Mode is actually doing a very good job of acting that section right there. He's got that method down.
Unfortunately, I think this is where his accuracy dies on this part here.
Yeah,
a bit more rhythm-centric. Yeah, this is a bit more of a rhythm-centric section.
Oh, that triangle's dirty.
That one's more dirty, honestly. Yeah. The 1/3 patterns aren't really that bad. It's those that I think are going to be tripping people up.
Very a fun map to play. Very unironically a fun map to play if you like this sort of thing. If you're forced to play this, you know, good luck. But I think a lot of teams that have that kind of strong tech-y roster will enjoy having a good pick for them in this.
Oh, this is where he lost his ack.
Ah.
Or that part also exists. I forgot about that.
There's a couple hundreds there. But shoutouts to Mode. there's that slider aim techie mix no mod 3 pick there. Next up, going to be the last map in our no mod pool. It's going to be no mod for Space Electro's Glow. This is another non-conventional map. The lowest BPM map that we've seen in the no mod pool so far. Also the lowest star rating map we've seen in the no mod pool so far. It's a bit of an anti-everything pick here, right? You know, CS5-ish, AR 8.5. So it brings in a little bit of reading.
And if you know the map or name, it's kind of expected. PW384 is well known for making these unconventional types of maps, especially as of late. It's been a lot more focused on just general... I don't really know. He's been experimenting, let's put it that way.
This is quite the map. Very gimmicky favored map with these sliders and, you know, kind of straightforward in the middle here, but some perfect stacks going on the board. A little bit of aim control required on this section right here. Not, again, you know, you're kind of expecting this pool to maybe just be a little bit more accessible than the qualifiers pool. So, you know, if this map looks pretty good to you, then congratulations, this is your skill set. But still decently difficult at least. Not everyone will be able to play this by no means. If you are not a gimmick player or a player that likes to practice things, then you will struggle at this. Oh gosh, that pattern.
I think that pattern looks a lot harder to hit than it actually is.
Potentially, yeah, that one's definitely rough looking on stream here, but straightforward slider sections in between. So it's not all crazy, but it's mostly crazy. Worst HR player will double S this map. Bocce Man will double S this map. I'm sure a couple other people will be able to rock this map out.
Oh, here's the rhythm section.
There we are. It's that one.
Yeah, pretty intuitively mapped, actually. I like that. Don't look at the score.
Absolutely not. Never before saying score. End of the no mod pool. That's right. 4 no mods here. This pool is also going to be very similar to the size of the qualifiers pool, with the exception of having free mods added and the tiebreaker. But next up, going to be the first hidden pick. It's a map that I think a lot of you may potentially know. It is going to be Lapix's Outer Space by LCFC. This is from Gotta Aim Fast 2021. It's been in a couple tournaments ever since as well, and it's quite a good hidden pick.
I've actually never seen this map before. Not
It's very
gonna lie.
fun. Very fun to play, unironically. Like, even as someone who does not usually opt into hidden willingly, this is a very cool map. I'll let you all start to get the gist of it. Maybe I'll start doing it. Just describe it after it happens. But this is kind of standard to what you'd expect from an LCFC map. If for those of you that are familiar with his mapping style, it is like flow aimy mostly with sliders. So kind of traditional tech, I feel like, is kind of what I would describe this as. Like, I think when tech first started to become like more popular in pooling in tournaments and slots with like no mod 4, I definitely think this is the type of map that people would use very often. Like old tech. This is like Kasu Akali, like low-key tech, I feel like.
My favorite. Oh my god, my power flickered. I'm...
But yeah, very aim-heavy map, very flow aim-centric. That's kind of the main key point on this one, right, is that hidden flow aim on this map. Throws in a couple tech elements, of course, with some of these buzz sliders and some overlapping accel decel patterning in here, but you know, really when it boils down to it, this is the flow aim test, I think, right here on the hidden pool. Chill out section here, maybe a little bit of free combo for some players who may be FCing, or maybe some players who need to build their combo back up again there. Chip doing a good job making it confidently through this. Thank you for the replay, Chip. Yeah. I don't know how much else I can describe about this. This is flow aim tech at its finest. LCFC, so very polished mapping, very experienced mapper, knows exactly what he's doing, good for tournaments. Couple slider streams here at the end, but I think they're late enough that it won't have a massive effect on the overall players' scores because they are in existence. Ooh, an unfortunate choke for Chiverly at the end of the hidden one there. I am on my own. The power grid has finally fallen in California, and Fiery Rage is doomed. So over. But there it is. There's the hidden one, the flow aim tech-styled hidden map. Next up's going to be the second pick in the hidden pool, and this one's going to be a little bit more traditional, I think, compared to last week. That's right, traditional in the sense that the hidden 2 is going to be our AR8 hidden pick. It's going to be Disturbed Decadence. Ice Deru's Extra Diff, beat up by Shirelia, replay by Fooders. Thank you for the replay, Fooders. I don't actually know if that's Fooders. Is that Fooders or is it...
Hello there, I've come to replace Chile. Neither
Hello,
of the
Nick.
Fooders have been Fooders, both have been both.
You came to replace me?
You know, yeah. We're getting Fighty out of the floods.
So real. This is a very cool map. This is fun to play. I cannot play it, but I will have fun to play. Yes, introducing Nick. Everyone say hello to Nick. He is chiefly responsible for the map pools in this tournament, so he's going to have a lot more information than I will.
Not that much more. I mean, you're covering
I lied.
everything perfectly fine.
I lied. Never mind. It's over.
There's not much more going on.
Yeah, AR8 Hidden 2. Congratulations to all our Hidden 2 enjoyers. Your favorite slot is back.
Yeah, generally, in this smaller hidden and harder pools, you're not gonna see that much haha slot pulling dead, swapping slots around for no reason. This is still the AR8 hidden. Spoiler alert, harder 2 will be a precision map.
No way. This map is quite difficult, though. I think even if you're an AR8 player, right, those, you know, kind of like linear aim patternings in there, really easy to find some mis-aims on those. But a good map, nonetheless.
Yeah, also a bit of the reading on those stacks. Where you need to stop and see that there's a new combo. But these in between sections are pretty reasonable.
Yeah, this is pretty easily comboed through. Is you just got to kind of lock in the aim, really. There's not too much reading here. This is more that AR8 aim styled section here kind of mixed in. Couple overlaps here and there, but nothing crazy, and you're going to get a little bit of a pause to regroup here as well. Not all maps have that.
Yeah. Fairly comparable to the hidden one we saw in qualifiers. People did say that was a bit on the easier side. I would argue that the scores don't really reflect that, especially for some counters, but this is still like around the same wavelength. A little bit, a bit quirkier in terms of visuals, but as a map, roughly the same difficulty.
Anytime any group of players has ever said that a map in a qualifiers pool is way too easy, the scores never reflect it. Let's be honest. When have the scores ever reflected player opinion?
DT1.
DT1, exactly. That map was too. That might have been a little too comboable, we'll say.
I would say Gamma abusable.
Hey man, whatever works for people. They got it locked in. There's a bit more reading.
This ending gets a little trickier.
Ooh, a miss from Fooders, you stink! No, I'm just kidding. Very good replay.
Yeah, Fooders.
Yeah.
Totally
Fooders.
real Fooders.
Yeah, Fooders. You get. Right into the ending there. Good score regardless. I think we're going to be seeing some very impressive AR8 performances on that one this weekend. But next up is Hard Rock. 2 hiddens. Yeah. Hard Rock, these are 2 actually quite classic Hard Rock picks, in my opinion. Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 2 here. Starting off with Hard Rock 1 is your first, I think, pure mechanics pick. Aim style, Hard Rock 1, it's Days. Kotachi set. I think this definitely is the most straightforward pick in the pool thus far, just on consistency-based skill set here.
Oh yeah. Also a bit reminiscent of like older consistency maps.
Yes.
So it does fit a little bit, like not making the pool feel too modern.
Hard Rock definitely does a good job of that. These are two very, very classic Hard Rock picks for tournaments here. Even into DT a little bit, actually, you do see some classics running in there. So I think there's a little bit of familiarity with some players in here, which some people might like, some people might not like. I think more people like it than not.
Yeah, slot pulling may be dead, but I like some classic Hard Rock maps.
Slot pooling might be dead, but bangers are forever, and Days is a banger.
True. I need to rewatch this anime.
I actually have not seen this in years.
It was like one of my very first, so I don't remember anything other than banger songs.
Yeah. That's the way. But yeah, you know, we'll always slot pooling or non-slot pooling, be damned. Songs will always have the precedence for, I feel like, so many poolers. If it's a good song, someone will make it work.
Oh yeah.
Someone will find a way to slot that thing in. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, with a consistency-based Hard Rock 1, it leaves Nick and I very little to talk about here because you're seeing a consistency Hard Rock 1, so what you see is what you get. There's no reading, there's no perfect stacks, there's no gimmicky alt patterns, I guess, unless if you alt this BPM, which if you do, why?
Some people are built like that.
Some people are built like that.
Yeah, near 4 minutes of just what you'd expect. The settings on the bottom are pretty basic, not correct. Like, this is obviously CS 5.2, AR10, LD10, as is like every Hard Rock ever.
Yeah, no Hard Rock stats incorporated on the bottom here.
Star rating is correct though.
That is true. There's another jump spike right there, but you know, a couple of those. They're not crazy spikes, but they are definitely a little bit more difficult than the larger majority of the map in terms of jumps. But you know, I think it's good. Keep players on their toes a little bit, make sure everything is all working well with the aim here. Very little in terms of streams as well. I think, you know, this is very aim focused despite having a couple of these bursts. I think Nomad 1 was far more stream focused.
Oh yeah. Like Nomad 1 has those. They're also on like the lower BPM side, because that map is like multi-BPM. Not as in timing fuckery, but there's like a 170 section, which is where most of the streams are. There's a 180 section, and then near the intro is like 210, I think.
Oh.
But that's also more aim. But this is just same BPM all the way throughout. Comfortable bursts. Bit older style, like this. What was this upload? Like 2016?
Yeah, I want to
had
say
to guess from the map.
like, I think it was 2017 actually. It might be a little older or a little newer.
Yeah.
Yeah, halfway through 2017. Yeah, so still very similar mapping like era, though. I feel like that was kind of still in the range, and a big jump spike into the ending there, but not enough to have a massive effect on the combo. So to all our Hard Rock players, enjoy your aim map. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with that inconsistency. Now, to all my Hard Rock players, this Hard Rock 2 you may have a lot less fun with, because this map is very difficult and it's very classic, but you'll know what I'm talking about when you'll see it. That's right, it's going to be, gosh, artist name I'm not going to pronounce, KTG Stir's Breathe map. And if the ACK is indicative of anything, it is how absolutely difficult this map is if you are not like a pure precision, like really consistent Hard Rock player.
Purely based on me reading the artist name, I think it's Failette. But yeah, just your average KTG Stir, CS5, slight aim control, slight finger control.
Yeah, this is
low base BPM. Yeah,
it is low. I have not seen this map in a tournament in quite some time. This map is not super old, 2020-ish probably, but it is definitely a classic CS 6.5 pick. I think KTG Sturm maps tend to fall in that category, right? You know, they play really well for those kind of more awkward precision type maps that I think a lot of poolers look for that unfortunately a lot of maps don't really exist for. So KTG Sturm ends up being used quite a bit here. And that creates a lot of favorites and a lot of people that absolutely despise a lot of KTG Sturm maps because of that.
Yeah, and also like a lot of focus on movement with just nodes, not using sliders to move you around. KTG does that really well, and you can see that here.
A couple of rhythm changes as well to keep you on your toes, so this is not just mapped all in 1/4 here, so no, there's no just flowing through this. You got to pay attention to, which is going to create a lot more variation in the scores, I think.
Yeah, and no breaks, but it is very short, 2 minutes 14. I don't have the full tab in front of me, but I think this is the shortest map thus far.
It is thus. Oh, looks like Nomad 4 has it. No, Nomad 2 looks like the shortest so far.
Let's see.
Minute and 54? Yeah. It's close, though. It's very close. I mean, it's negligible difference, basically, between the three of them. 2 minutes 14 seconds, 2 minutes 10 seconds, minute 54. So yeah, pretty close. Still a very short pick. I'd say, you know, anything under that, like 2:15 range is pretty short. But speaking of pretty short, we got some pretty short maps in the DT pool, I guess relatively speaking compared to the skill sets that they're meant to test. DT1, we're going back to 10.3 aim consistency DT1. That's right. Mami Kawada Contrails Kiseki. Going to be our DT1, the Akitoshi set as well. So this is the original, I believe, even.
Yeah, I think this is the original of the full version.
Yeah. Of the DT pool. By a good amount.
Yeah, just a fairly standard DT consistency. If anything, it might even be harder than the qualifiers in terms of raw mechanics.
I am trying to find the first ranked map of this. I wonder if I need to remove that here. Let's go ranked. There's no way I'm finding this. Oh, no, maybe. Hold on. Oh, no, maybe it wasn't the first, huh?
Yeah, just like with the Hard Rock one, it's just 2 minutes 58 now instead of almost 4 minutes, but 3 minutes basically of this is what you get. Consistency.
Good stuff, though. I think this is going to be a fun... I think it's a difficult enough map despite the skill set. I think that it's going to be pretty favorable as a pick for a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's not too easy where all the good teams would be just sleeping, snoozing through this. But we can see some of the lower seeded teams get some good scores on this as well.
Yes. Oh, this was the full first version map. I was thinking of the Epsilon remix was ranked just before this.
Ooh,
that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Fake news. Only original Contrail.
Yeah, sticking a bit to the slot pool tradition of consistency DT1. But that will go away very soon.
I mean, like you were saying, you know, when you have less slots to work with, it's hard to go away and deviate from that slot pooling because, you know, I guess you do have to have that skill set representation in somewhere. And, you know, certain mods, you can only represent certain skill sets, right? Like, you can only represent precision in Hard Rock, basically. You can only represent higher AR in DT just because of the capabilities of the different mods. You know, like reading, it's hard to get a really good reading map outside of Hidden. Sometimes you can get a no mod.
Yeah, so like this, just high BPM, high AR, this is just DT bread and butter.
Yeah. Gotta put it somewhere, and DT's that spot.
I mean, you can't get 10.3 in normal, so what else would you
That's
put
true.
it?
Exactly. I don't know. Hard Rock enable 10.3.
Switch to laser.
Right? Implemented in laser. But that's DT1. That's the longest DT map by almost a factor of like 1.5. Because the next DT map is a complete shift into DT2. We're going to bring it down from 2 minutes and 53 seconds to 1 minute and 11 seconds with Blackwise Black Rose Insane difficulty. Mapped by Lucian, 270 BPM stamina map.
Yeah, not giga focus on the stamina, but it is 270 BPM.
Speedy.
Very speedy.
It's not Gunga focused on stamina, but I guess like in this DT pool, this is your speed stamina map, I guess, because DT3 certainly does not fall into that. So here's your speed stamina pick for those DT players out there.
Yeah, a little more bursty and higher BPM compared to what we saw in Nomad 2, not Nomad 5.
Yeah.
Which was just more consistency.
Both of them are pretty bursty too, you know. So if you're a burst fan, I think Nomad 2 and DT2 are going to be pretty favored towards you this week.
And DT2 definitely, all those stacked, like low spacing stacked bursts are going to be pretty easy to cheese, I think. But then the people who can actually play these type of speed maps, they're going to shine.
Good stuff. Love to see the players shining up their skill sets. Rough accuracy on the replay, but thank you, Tim Kackner, for the full combo. That is the shortest map in the pool.
Yeah, already done.
Minute and 11 seconds. That is quite short with DT on there. The DT3 is not much longer as well. Everyone, prepare yourselves. Shadoos, prepare for this VOD to be muted instantly. DT3, Taylor Swift's Paper Rings. This map is 312 BPM converted with DT.
Oh,
and
yeah,
also 10.2.
Yeah, slightly higher AR than Air 10. Alt focus. I think this is a Tin Frog. Shishingwa, if you remember his very old name.
Oh.
Retired mapper now because her laptop broke.
Tragic. So tragic.
Yeah, a normally 208? No, 206 has to be. I'm bad at math. Just over 200 BPM.
What, without DT?
Yeah.
This is 210-ish probably, 208. 208.
Yeah,
That's what
208 base, like low spacing kind of consistency-ish, but then you put on DT, and it just becomes kind of an alt map. And something that usually you can only get with putting DT on these type of maps. And there's not many people mapping like this in no mod.
Yeah, this is definitely not the skill set that you or a mapping style that you see a lot of the time.
For the length dispute I'm seeing, the length currently displayed on screen is including break times and like all the drain time. Well, 149 is only drain.
Drain time is all that matters.
Yeah, 149 is only like actively playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this bit tricky to get consistent scores on, but fairly easy overall. I'm gonna say this. I feel like this is gonna be a popular pick.
This is a very polarizing map, I think. You are not able to... I think like this is the style of DT map where you're not really able to put players in for this type of map that can't play it and have a good time with it as a team. So for the teams that have the rosters for this sort of thing are really going to go for that map a lot, I think. And we may also see it banned out by a lot of teams.
Yeah.
That's DT. 3 DTs. Next up is going to be our 3 free mod picks. Free Mod 1's going to be Sekai's PH Overdose difficulty, mapped by Pedal. It's probably another pick that some people have seen in tournaments previously. I can't remember the last time it was pulled. It was a decent amount of time ago, I think.
We might need a little bit of a refresh on the stats at the bottom. This is not 10.7.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. Currently on display are the hard rock stats. Except for star rating. Star rating goes to like 6.6, 6.7-ish.
Yeah. Oh, is this below 6 base?
It's 6.2 base.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yeah, this is just a classic
alt.
generic alt map.
Yeah. 132 BPM, pretty comfortable. Good length, too. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, basically. Almost on the dot.
And this is going to be a little bit on the trickier side for the harder players. I was a bit hard with this. This was actually one of the last things we were looking for, and we didn't have much time to overhaul the pool completely for the skill sets. That was a bit tricky to find an alt map that could fit both like all hard rock and no mod / hidden in terms of difficulty. But I think this does the job pretty fine.
It works, and if it works, then it's good. Someone will FC it.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna see some pretty high hard rock scores, despite like my slight difficulty concerns. We're still gonna see high scores.
I think we will. I agree, though. Like, I'm thinking that the hard rock players are probably gonna have. No, actually, I don't know. I mean, I'm biased. I feel like hidden players will probably be fine on this. Hard rock players might actually be okay too. This doesn't seem crazy just for spikes. Pretty standard. That part right there is probably going to catch almost everyone, at least at one point. Yeah. I don't think it matters what mod you have on that section.
Also very practicable map, I feel. I personally would enjoy practicing this.
I would practice it once I saw that section that just appeared. I'd be like, yep, all right, practice map.
Oh yeah, we're now seeing full-on no mod / hidden stats.
That's good.
In
the
mod.
base. Most people can do the conversions.
Yeah. Well, not really when you're seeing AR10 OD10.
No, yeah, no, that one. Whoops, get pranked. Not real. There's PH. There's your alt map. Actually, that's our first like kind of real full alt map in the pool so far. And free mod 2, gonna bring it back from that alt here. We're gonna go in, not entirely, but close enough. It's gonna be Undead Corpse, Put Curse on You, LMT difficulty. This is a 140 BPM, almost 4-minute long mechanics density pick, I'd say. Like, this is really more focused on density than anything because of the hidden players.
And one point is, I think the first BPM line, so that's what the API grabs on the pooling sheet. But it's actually 210, which is shown in the overlay. And yeah, we had your short bursts, high BPM DT, the medium length kind of consistency in no mod, and here in free mod, some longer streams, but at a lower BPM.
Yeah, this is going to be the very hard rock player favored free mod. CS3 base means that this is quite welcoming to those hard rock mechanics players, which there are so many of in here. It also means an AR 9.6 that the hidden players are pretty comfortable as well. I feel like this is you have anti-mod picks and then you have FC battle picks, and I feel like for mechanics players, like if your team has that sort of thing, if you've got like density players and good hard rock players, you're gonna have a great time on this type of map, as opposed to anti-mod where it's like, man, who do we have that can play this?
Some of the longer streams in this section, and of course this is an LFD map. It is not generic infinite design streams. You're getting variable stream shapes and you will like it.
No straight line streams here whatsoever.
Oh, that was one.
It's
that was
ruined.
a straight line fight.
It's ruined. It's fine. There's one like almost literal stack stream for every stream that is less curved It's balanced.
And yeah, one thing to note with free mods is this year we have finally left the only one unique mod required. Like, as the question states, you can go double hard rock, but you still need your third player on hidden if you want double hard rock.
That's real.
You do need 2 unique mods. That was originally a rule in that we implemented in one of the earlier iterations, because there were just a lot less players interested in 3WC. But now some teams have kind of disappeared. Some teams have gotten way better than they used to be. And now it's a good time to bring back, I guess, tournament tradition with 2 unique mods.
The tradition is alive. I'm a fan. More mods is better on free mods, in my opinion. I love seeing teams just crank out mods. As long as they have one of each, I feel like. I don't know. Depends. Depends on the tournament. Hippo Cup doesn't seem to care, but that's also Scorpio 1.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just over 3/4 of the map now, and we just reached 2,000 combo.
Yeah, this is easily the most combo dense map. Despite not being the longest map in the pool. It's not the shortest, but it's not the longest. 3 minutes and 48
unfortunate
seconds.
spider break there.
That's doomed. That is the most doomed.
It's over. It's over. We're out of stamina.
Yeah, there's the density and stamina gone. Yeah, this is the second longest map in the pool, I believe, aside from Nomad 1. Yeah, it does come up just above Hard Rock 1.
I think it's like, according to the lengths we've had on screen, this is 1 second less than Hard Rock 1.
Really?
I think that was 3:48.
Oh, yeah, drain time wise.
58, I think it was.
I think drain time wise on the website, yeah, it's 2 seconds difference between the two just on that, but it says otherwise here. Very close though. And that's
now,
big.
3 mod 3, just what you'd expect that's missing from this 3 mod pool so far. Your CS5 AR8 map. 2004 breakup.
Let's go. It is time for the gentlemen. Where have I seen this map before?
This was a custom for Drenched program in 2021, but I don't think I've seen it a lot, or at all since.
Yeah,
And
Drenched must be where I saw this.
Yeah, because this is a Moist Critical song, and obviously a custom for that tourney. But at least from the comments on the map, this has barely seen any action since.
Huh.
To my knowledge, and from the fact that all the comments on the map are from during the Drench program stream, basically.
Oh gosh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, all of them are 3+ years old. Actually, now nearing 3 years, because that's how long. It's 2024. Dear God.
We're all old. As if we weren't already.
But yeah, Reiji Maiko, this is the style that they're known for, a little bit of a mix of old / bloxy maps with a bit of modernity.
It's a very traditional anti-mod.
Get it snapped.
I'm running out of things to say.
Yeah, it is getting late for me as well.
I don't know if 8 hours of commentary daily is recommended. It's a good song. Get the jam out for a bit. Maybe let the chat run with it.
Oh yeah. And we still have the tiebreaker to go. Oh dear God. We still have another 5 minutes of map after this.
Tragic miss.
Very unlucky. There's another heart that I think that either the second or the third heart that's been ruined from Hard Rock. I should have gotten a hidden replay for this.
Hidden is gone. Crab Rave.
And yeah, that's it.
That's the one, and that's it for the regular pool. There is 4 no mods, 2 hidden, 2 Hard Rock 3DT, and the 3 free mods. And there's no tiebreaker this week. Everyone can go home. Just kidding. It's time for tiebreaker. 7 stars, matched up perfectly with the no mod 1 star rating. Mapped by Mordred, it is Arakajime Unshina Wareta Bokura no Ballad, Eternal Torment, difficulty. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, not again from it's a round of 16 tiebreaker. There's not much to say. It's just some consistency anime in that Mordred style that's a bit less generic, but still pretty generic.
I was promised Furioso Melodia. No.
Oh, I wish I was cooking that hard.
Cooking that.
A little bit of a chill start. Are those 1/3? My brain says yes, but I think it's just lower BPM.
Yeah.
Like not exactly 1/3.
No, it doesn't sound like it's perfect 1/3. Time for some aim.
Don't miss that square.
Do not miss. If you are playing tiebreaker, please do not miss.
Yeah, not much to say. This is pretty much it. It's 5 minutes of consistency anime. Lots of this pattern slash symmetrical, I guess people call it, aim.
This is kind of like right on for the consistency tiebreaker type description. I feel like I don't know if it's one way or another, like aim or stream focused. I think there's a good mix in here. It definitely maybe a little bit aim, but consistency tiebreaker. This is kind of like the classic, like almost like what you would have actually seen from like a Nomad one at some point, like a late stage Nomad one.
This would have been Nomad 1 if it was an anime song and not Dance Gavin Dance.
Exactly. Hey, anime Nomad 1s were the thing.
Yeah. Then we're using it now as a tiebreaker, as like a little step, small steps towards the hype tiebreakers that will be coming up.
Well, it took me a second to realize that this was this song. I don't know why I didn't recognize this.
The TV size version is quite popular, I think, which doesn't have that long intro.
Ah.
I think. I don't remember the full song. Yeah, very sight readable map as well for the ones who think round of 16 tiebreakers not really worth hardcore practicing. But
If you play round of 16 tiebreaker, you lose it. If you practiced it. That's a known
True.
fact.
Still got some patterns to keep people on their toes. Like those full screen squares that we've seen twice already, I think. And here there's some 1/6, I think. Like in that in between the bursts. which obviously, of course, now we're not going to see anymore. Shiv actually kind of going off on that. The low
Shiv
IQ.
is simply a tiebreaker player. His ending.
We're not yet done. Little bit of a drum roll.
That's the most Mordred ending of all time.
He needed to reach those 5 minutes to rank this as a solo diff.
It's true. That's it. That's the pool. That's round of 16. All the seeds have been revealed. All the maps have been shown. Teams have been eliminated. Hearts have been broken when they saw their matchups. And Shadooz is putting stuff on the sheet in 20 minutes. All is right in the world.
We are ready to kick off the bracket stage.
We are. Like I mentioned earlier, for those that stopped by just for the pool showcase or just for seeds, don't forget to check out the pool and the results on the sheet. Like Stu said, it's going to be out in about 20 minutes with updates as well. Don't forget to do your pick'ems this week for the round of 16. I am 100% sure that Nick has those going. And root for your favorite teams. Donate to the prize pool if you feel like it as well. Those are command and Twitch chat. They're popping up every once in a while. But that's going to do it for us for the seed reveal and the showcase. Thank you to Fiery, who joined us earlier. Unfortunately, his power cut out, and he will not be here for the end. There it is, exclamation donate. Thanks to Nick for stopping in and helping out at the end of the showcase here. And that'll do it for us. Again, big congratulations to our top 16 teams. Thanks, everyone, for stopping in, and we will see you all this upcoming weekend, February 10th, for the round of 16.
Bye-bye.